Hey, Alex.
What?
So when you're on a boat and you're on like a rocky ocean, and you're drifting out to sea, what's the best way to keep your boat like sturdy and just staying still?
Um, Oars?
No, not even close. You throw out your anchor.
Oh, your anchor.
Yep,
Oh,
you throw
okay.
out your anchor. You know what I like to do to keep my podcast steady and just sturdy while everything else seems to be rocky and wavy around me?
Not oars, right?
Not oars. It's Anchor again.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Anchor.fm. Let me explain. This app is free, completely free to host your podcast on.
Like 100% free?
100% free. And you get unlimited storage for all your episodes.
Unlimited?
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
As Russell Wilson would say.
Yes.
That's right. It's also got creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer.
Well, I'm all about that.
I know. And it also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on the likes of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of them.
What's not to like?
It's great. You can even make money from your podcast, Alex.
And we're all about that.
And you don't need minimum listenership. So,
that's
good. That's a real good thing. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You need to download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I'm getting right on it right now.
Keep your boat and your podcast sturdy.
Yo, what up? Week 3 is done and in the books. This is the Sasquatch Stock Watch, brought to you in part by the fantasy chairman himself and themselves. So let's get right to it this week. What are we looking at here? We're looking at, I think I said last week, once is spontaneous, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a trend. Is that how it goes? So this week, you could definitely be looking into some trends. And I'm going to go over a few trends here. But for the most part, I want to just kind of go over some guys that are legit and the real deal. And some guys that I'm like, I don't really see this as a trend. And then some guys that I'm like, hey, this is still, even if they've gone 3 in a row, in my mind, in my eyes, this is still a sell high. All right, let's get started here. First thing I wanted to say was Josh Gordon, reinstated by the NFL. He is free to sign wherever he would like. And all reports say he is headed for Kansas City. If you're in a redraft league, that might be a decent pickup because that wide receiver room besides Tyreek Hill is pretty abysmal right now. It was at the beginning in like April, it was going to be Demarcus Robinson. Apparently he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. That, yikes, no way. And then it was Byron Pringle was the answer in off-season workouts and training camp. And he looks fine, but that's not happening. And then it was Mecole Hardman, and he's more of a solar eclipse. He just kind of pops out of nowhere, and it's like, whoa, he's really fast, and he could be really good. And then it's like, where'd Mecole Hardman go? So, like, let's just be honest with ourselves. Josh Gordon, I think he's almost 30. I don't know. I really have no idea here. He could literally pop in, get told what the offense looks like, and ball out in 2 weeks. That is a definite possibility with the amount. This is one of the most pass happy teams in the NFL, if not the most. The ball is in Patty's hands as much as possible in that offense. So Josh Gordon, I'm sure he's still pretty good. I bet he still has the skills. Is he 25-year-old Josh Gordon or 24-year-old Josh Gordon on the Cleveland Browns? No, he's not. But he's probably still pretty dang good, man. So I that's a speculative ad. I'd go for it. Give it a shot and put him at the bottom of the bench. See what happens. That could win your league potentially. Moving on. CMC went down. Man, is that sad to watch. Whether you own him or not, You don't want to see that. So, like I said, tough to watch. But I think that it says that he'll be back pretty soon. They're not even going to put him on IR because they're going to try and bring him back. I'm guessing if he's not going on IR, then he's going to be back he's going to take probably 2 games off and be back on the 3rd game. So that would mean that you could expect CMC back in week 6. So week 4 and week 5, you're going to need something to be the answer to that gap. You likely don't have that answer unless you went running back in your drafts, because you spent your 101 on CMC. So I will tell you from someone that owns CMC in a bigger league, in a league where everyone is very good, you're just going to limp it for 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to start Miles Sanders as my top running back, and then maybe Damian Harris or maybe Jamal Williams. I'm just going to limp in for a couple weeks, and that's all I can do. What you're not doing, let me repeat that. What you're not doing is you are not selling off CMC right now. Bad idea. Do not do that, because you're going to play him in week 13 and he's going to put 30 up on you. Do not sell CMC right now. Okay? Not even for even value. He'll be just fine. The hamstring injury didn't even look that bad, honestly. He just kind of he tried to do a dead leg, I think is what that move is. And I think he just kind of strained it a little bit. And so even when he ran off the field, it's not like when these other guys where you see him just like completely pull up, grab their leg and go to the ground. It wasn't like that. It was more of like, hey, I think I pulled this. Went to the tent, went in the locker room. Obviously, Matt Rule's like, don't even touch the field, So, moving on from CMC, we spent enough time on this. Do not sell. Just hold out, limp it in for 2 weeks. It's going to be okay. Peyton Barber in Las Vegas Raiders country. Is he the real deal? Looks like Gruden has no problem giving him a nice workload. Just come on in and take the ball 15 times there, friend. If it keeps happening, I would add him, especially if you're a CMC guy and you need some help. Why not? It sounds like Josh Jacobs is going to hit the field this week, but so I'm guessing a lot of Peyton Barber shares are going to hit the waivers this week. With that being the case, especially in redrafts, with that being the case, if it's me, I'm gonna if Josh Jacobs gets another injury, say like during a game or something, I'm definitely trying to pick up Peyton Barber. Next time that happens, Peyton Barber's the pickup, because Kenyon Drake is going to be like a change of pace / J.D. McKissick type role, and Peyton Barber is taking the carries. He's taking the full carries, so he looked pretty good too. He didn't look too bad at all. Didn't look like somebody that could have been picked off waivers in the NFL at the beginning of the season. That's for sure. All right, moving on down the list. The Buffalo Bills receiving core. I know you Diggs owners are really upset, not feeling it, but here's what happens. And it's happened with a lot of teams. It happened with Devontae Adams at the beginning of the season, and it might keep happening, depending on how, locked in Aaron Rodgers is. When Josh Allen is throwing the ball to Diggs 15 times a game last season, teams start to realize when you play the Diggs, when you play the Bills, you're gonna have to lock down Diggs, and it's almost like you're thinking as a defensive coordinator, I'm going to take Diggs away from you. Beat me with Singletary, Moss, Dawson Knox, and Gabe Davis. Beat me with them. And that's, why not? Yeah, beat me with Cole Beasley. Let's see it. And that's what people are doing. They're trying to put the pressure on the rest of that. And I think the Bills have kind of shown like, okay, watch this. And last week obviously I did, but I think in general that is the kind of rhetoric right now with the teams playing the Bills. So just hold out on Diggs. he'll start producing. The fruit will grow. But right now, like, I think that's what you're getting. And so just hold out with Diggs. But I think Gabe Davis is starting to come into his own. I think Dawson Knox is looking pretty legit as a tight end. Give him a pickup if he's just hanging on out there. Oh, I didn't talk about the Carolina running backs. Royce Freeman and Hubbard, Chuba. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see very much from either of them. I know that one of them is going to take on the Mike Davis role, but they might end up even splitting. Because, I don't know, Mike Davis is actually a really dynamic running back. And I didn't see a whole lot of dynamic from either of them, really, for the most part. I mean, Chuba's obviously Chuba, whatever. Hubbard's he's obviously really raw. He's a rookie, and he might end up becoming in one of those players. But Royce Freeman definitely isn't dynamic, so don't expect a whole lot from either of those guys as filling in for CMC. Like I said, I'd rather start a Damian Harris or a Jamal Williams over a Hubbard and a Royce Freeman this week. Zach Moss might be out of the doghouse. Go ahead and grab him up. He's a potential. I mean, I think your buy low might have set sail. You might have missed the boat on that, but he's still. Maybe give him a week and see what happens. He's still a guy that might potentially go up and down. There might be another chance to buy him up. Because if Singletary goes down, then Zach Moss is going to get some serious work. All right. So I think the verdict is out on the Darnold experiment. He's legit. Off of, as the fantasy chairman would call it, out of the Dementor's grasp, he's doing pretty good. All right. He seems legit. And I feel like the true test was when CMC went down. Okay, what can you do? Now it's pretty much all on you and DJ and Robbie. Robbie vanished. Man, I don't understand. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. I never thought that kind of vanishing act from Robbie Anderson would be a possibility, but I guess it is. So anyway, maybe he just wasn't the right fit for that game plan during that against the Texans. Who knows? But he's definitely. I mean, if you can buy low on Robbie, go ahead, because he's fumbled. I mean, not fumbled. He's been terrible for like 2 games straight. And he's a guy that's going to be involved in that offense, especially now that CMC's down. He's definitely a guy that you want to buy right now. Go ahead, go out and buy him. Okay, let's move on a little bit more. Real quick, it looks like Tim Patrick is legit in Denver. Last year he was like this guy where we were like, oh well, everyone's injured, so he's just like the next guy up, like de facto. I think actually this year with Judy down and even with Cortland Sutton playing, he's still going to get some looks. He's a decent flex play. So if you want to throw him in there, go for it. I think Cole Beasley is an absolute sell high. I think that he's a game plan player as well. He'll fit into a game plan type of player. He's not like someone that's going to break the game open like Diggs. So go ahead and sell high on him right now if you can. He's not a guy that I'm looking to buy at all. He runs that like end of career Wes Welker type of role. I'm not really looking for that. Obviously in PPR leagues, there's going to be times where he's just like going to win you a week, like last week, but I don't see that happening very often. Okay, moving on. Everyone figured out that to beat Taylor Heineke and the Washington Redskins, you just double or triple Terry McLaurin, because that's pretty much all they did. Gibson got some good work in. He showed some flashes of what everyone's been buying him up for in the offseason in Dynasty Leagues, but honestly, if they need to have some continuity and some dynamic to that offense, they can't just throw to Terry every time. So maybe give it another week, but Terry McLaurin owners, I think you're bunkered in at this point. If you bought him, maybe you sold him before this, but if you didn't sell him before this, you're kind of bunkered in. So I would just hold on Terry McLaurin right now. He's not a sell guy. Even with Fitzy on IR, he's still a hold. They got to figure it out, because here's the deal. Terry McLaurin he's the guy. So they'll figure it out. Moving on to a little bit more interesting stuff here. What is going on with Jonathan Taylor? What is the deal here? Naheem Hines, I think, has outscored him in almost every game. That's off the top of my head. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's either very close or he has outscored him in every single game this year, which is not good because you probably spent a first on him. Naheem Hines was like a, 9th round pick in 10-team, 12-team leagues. So that's brutal. But the deal is it looks like they feature both backs. Right now, that offensive line that's supposed to be a steel curtain, it's not really coming out to be like that right now. So they have some things to figure out. Yeah, I think that running game is eventually going to unfold, and I think Jonathan Taylor is going to start busting out some runs here. But if you can go get him, go get him. I'm going to try for him today and tomorrow and, Thursday before the next game. I'm going to try and get him in a few leagues. He's definitely a buy low guy, so go get him. Because Jonathan Taylor's still Jonathan Taylor. They just haven't worked out some kinks yet with that run game. Okay? All right. Let me kind of give you a ROS, rest of season analysis on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers backfield. Gross. Just overall gross, because Ronald Jones was looking like the breakout guy. He very well might be doing well and doing better and getting better, but they take a look at their schedule coming up. They have a tough run game schedule coming up, and I think it's like they might have one of the. I mean, obviously they just played the Rams. They have a tough run game schedule, guys. And I honestly, if you have a Bucks running back that's still, like Lenny, he might still have some trade value. I think Rojo is just a complete hold. Hopefully Lenny and Gio go down. That's what you're hoping for. But if you can sell Lenny, then sell him. If you can sell Gio right now, then sell him. But man, that run game is just it looks like it's not happening. They're going to put the ball in Tom's hands, which is, I guess, what they paid for. So, here's one thing to consider for all of the NFL. Your beginning of season IR, 3-week IR guys are coming back this week. So that's your T.Y. Hiltons. That's your Curtis Samuels. That's your Rashad Batemans. It's time to kind of figure out where you stand on that. I think that Michael Pittman is a sell high. I think that Marquise Brown is a sell high. I think that DJ Moore is going to be a top 10 wide receiver. I definitely don't see him as a sell high. I think that he's going to just explode. He looked really good. But just moving forward, guys, I think that these IR wide receivers that are coming back this week, they're really going to set some stuff. They're paying T.Y. Hilton like $9 million this year. They're going to use him. And it's going to take Michael Pittman's going to lose some volume. He might still, he'll get volume still. It's not like he's just done. He's still going to probably get 7 or 8 targets, but he's not going 12 targets back to back like the last 2 weeks. So it's time to sell him. It's time to sell Marquise, I feel like. That's where I'm at anyway. I'm actually looking to sell both those guys in a couple leagues. Next, Mike Williams looks like I think we haggled back and forth all offseason during training camp about him breaking out this year. It's a breakout year for him, unless he gets injured. So for me personally, if I have him on my team right now, I'm selling, because that guy is glass. Eventually, the way he plays, the jump ups, the diving and all that stuff, eventually he's going to get hurt. He's not going to go the full season, but he looks really good right now. And that's by design. He's trying to get a contract paid. He's still on his rookie. So if it's me, I'm selling. But make your own decision on this one, because he looks the part of a top 15 wide receiver this year, which sounds gross, but that could be potentially league winning if you drafted him like in the 10th round, that's big because he honestly looks the part of a top 15 wide receiver right now in that offense. It's like they almost think that he's Mike Thomas in that offense with the Saints OC coming to the Chargers. Okay, does James White going down bring up Damian Harris? Honestly, it hurts to say, but no, I don't think so. I think that Damian Harris just kind of still has his role. I think they put in some Bolden, some J.J. Taylor, which sounds gross, but now I think that Damian Harris, it's sad because it's like, just give him a chance. Just throw him the ball a few times. But, I mean, Bill is Bill, so I guess everything just kind of stays the same there. So if you were wondering on that. Moving on, I think that Tyrell Williams might be back. So if you're a Quintez Cephas or any of those guys, you've been riding that pony for a while, I think it's time to hop off. I'm not saying like sell them or anything, but probably time to hop off on that because Tyrell is going to be, I mean, sadly enough, Tyrell is still the most talented wide receiver on that team. As I said before, the Houston Texans running back field is gross. Stay away. As much as you can. Okay. And then moving forward, I think that Tyson Williams, however you say it, I think he's a buy low right now. I would go snatch him up. That's still a run first offense. I know that they're having Lamar pass it a bunch, but once Tyson Williams figures out how to do it, I think that he gets a lot of fantasy football points. I'd go buy him up. Keep an eye out on the New York Giants wide receiver core. They looked like they all got banged up last week. If it's just Kenny Golladay, that's really good for him. Maybe some Kadarius Toney coming in hot. Let's see what happens. Weekly update on the San Francisco 49er backfield. Trey Sermon looked pretty good. Elijah Mitchell is back this week. I will take Mitchell over Trey Sermon right now. But we'll see what Shanahan wants to do. He looked real TO'd after that game. So we'll see what he wants to do. I think that the Jets offense as a whole is broken. So I would stay away. I wouldn't even buy low right now on that. And even after the game that we saw on Sunday, I don't think that the Jacksonville Jaguars offense is like on the rise. I think that that offense is also broken as well. Until they start understanding how to get a systematic passing game with more than Marvin Jones, maybe use your first round wide receiver in LaVisca. And, obviously DJ Chark caught a touchdown. Wow. I just saw in one of my other leagues, someone sold DeAndre Hopkins and DJ Chark for A.J. Brown and Allen Robinson. Yuck. Do not bite on the fact DJ Chark scored a touchdown. Big whoop. That guy, honestly, it's your call, but I don't see it. So if you have him and people want him, if it's me, sell him. Get him out of there. All right. This is a Fantasy Sasquatch. This is the end of moving on to week 4. Good luck. Stay strong, everyone. And if you have any questions, you can direct them to the fantasy chairman. And I'll see you week 4. See ya.